all that stuff. So it's going to take a great effort to win the game.
Coach, do you feel like you guys need that fire too? Because, from the regular season, it's kind of like a very long, the first round, second round facing Houston Rockets. But do you feel like you guys need that intensity, excitement, everything?
Yes, yeah. The deeper you go in the playoffs, generally, the more difficult your job becomes. But this is pretty unique because Houston is not a team you normally would face in the second round, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing about us. So we're going to need our full attention, our full effort, fire, intensity, however you want to put it. Both, it's going to be required, to win Game 3 for sure. That's what we've got to bring.
Coach, without LeBron is in the playoffs, do you feel like KD is sort of having this responsibility to take lead to show what is the highest basketball level?
Yeah, I think Kevin, the last couple of years in the playoffs, winning Finals MVP, he's already shown what he's about. And I think this year, given the stakes and the competition, that we've already faced between the Clippers and Houston, I think he's stepped up his game even more. To me, this is the best I've ever seen Kevin play. I'm biased, but yeah, I think he's the best player in the league.
Steve, you guys have historically been a very good road playoff team. Do you attribute that to talent mostly, or do you think maybe you guys just, different attitude going on the road, or have players who kind of revel in that type of environment?
Well, number one, we've obviously had a great team. We've got a lot of talent, and talent wins in the NBA. And our guys also happen to be very, very competitive. So it's a good combination to have, and it's what's made us tough the last few years.
But what's Rick told you about how his finger is? Or
nothing. He practiced fully today, and he's got it taped up. But it's probably good that we've got a few days off, so hopefully the pain will continue to go down as we get closer to game time.
It's kind of a weird schedule. What do you think about it just from you probably like these 4 days, but in general?
In general, well, it's a little bit odd in the middle of a series. Generally, you get these long breaks in between series. But in the first and second round, because of a number of games on TV, we usually see something like this. Sunday, Tuesday, and then that's where you get your break in between games. But Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday is extra long, probably an extra day from what we're used to. But I think it's come at a good time for us, coming off that long series against the Clippers and then the quick turnaround. It's a good few days for us to get refreshed and healthy.
Can you remind us, Durant has the potential to be one of the best defenders?
Yeah, we saw it in the playoffs in 2016. He was blocking everything at the rim against us, and then I think last couple of years when we've really needed him and needed to play at the highest level. That's when he's been at his best on the weak side as a help guy and a shot blocker. And I thought that was one of the keys to the game the other night was his help on Capella. They tried to get Capella going early in that game, a lot of dives to the rim, and Kevin met him at the rim, forced to travel on the first play of the game, and had a couple great challenges and plays in the paint to thwart baskets.
You mentioned Capella. Obviously, Draymond's been a big part of denying those blocks. What makes him particularly well suited to that?
He's a wizard defensively. I mean, he sees the game sort of a couple steps ahead of most of the players on the floor. Andre too. That's what makes them such a great combination. But against that lob, it requires somebody who has the size and strength to be in the paint, battling a 7-footer, the quickness to deal with a guard coming downhill at you, and the brain to try to decipher what's going to happen. And Draymond is the best I've ever seen at navigating that sort of play. And I think he's told you he's lost some weight. He's in better shape now than he's been all year. I think he's in top form.
Do you ever want to be able to enter that playoff Andre mode, at the end of the season?
Oh, you mean during the regular season? Do
Yeah.
I wonder that? Ironically, this year I thought was his best regular season of the last 3. There were times during this regular season where I was hoping he wasn't going too hard, And we want playoff Andre to be playoff Andre, not January Andre. But he had a great regular season. I think people have kind of overlooked that because his numbers never really show the impact that he makes. But he had a really good regular season, and he too has kept himself in great shape. Does an amazing job, staying healthy, and he does all of his work in the training room. He eats well, and then genetically, he's what's it called, the gene lottery. He won the gene lottery.
He seems to really blast.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
He's having fun. I think one of the things that happens when you get older in the NBA, and it's kind of your final maybe few years, hopefully a little more, but you just get to the stage where you just play for fun. You don't have to worry about a whole lot, especially a guy like Andre who's won titles, he's won finals MVP, he's been an all-star, he's been an Olympian. I just see him enjoying the game out there.
Coach, do you feel bad for Andre? Because poking eye things always happen on him. Do you feel bad
For Draymond?
For Draymond sometimes.
No.
Because he always got blamed for something like that.
Yeah, but he usually deserves it. But that was a freak injury. I feel bad for James, and obviously Draymond did too, and went over and apologized, and but that's just one of those fluke plays that happens. So I'm glad James is okay, and that everything seems to be fine.
Hey, Steve, Draymond felt like the way you managed the workload during the regular season and training.
Getting a lot of recovery time, and then getting work in where and when we can.
Because of all that, to what extent did you not feel maybe as worried as in normal circumstances with the quick turnaround between series?
I was worried about the turnaround, especially with the 2 sprained ankles with Steph and Clay. So I was very concerned, which made the winning the first 2 at home that much more satisfying. But so now we get this break. We got a few days to rest, but so do they, and they'll be ready. But we feel like we will too. Thanks, everyone.